That's a really good point. So there's two things that you triggered when you were saying that. A, you're saying Joe Rogan, just given the sort of like brand equity that he's cultivated over 10 years, has become a de facto gatekeeper because he's going to show up in your home feed versus other people. I think that's true. I just think the ultimate thing is because he started 11 years ago as a nobody and now 10 years later he's a somebody, he earns the level of gatekeeping that he has. Same thing with Lex Fridman. Like these people, because they're not NBC and CBS and all that stuff, and they started from nothing, if they're now getting more attention, the algorithms are being more friendly to them. I guess they've just done a good job at pumping up content. Now, that's kind of discouraging for people like you and me because we're not the de facto gatekeeper, but that's also just because we haven't done it long enough or created enough quality content that they've been able to do, which is just the journey of creating content. And hopefully, if we're good enough content creators, that's going to happen over time and we will be spamming people's home feed. The big thing is that YouTube has 2 billion people using the platform per month. Right? Joe Rogan is not getting 2 billion views every day. So like there are more and more and more people, and YouTube's only getting bigger and bigger, and same thing with all the other tech companies, where there's more people to reach as more people use the internet and get on those platforms. So theoretically, even if he's holding a good amount of the home feed, hopefully we as creators are going to be friendlier with the algorithm and just get us in front of different diverse audiences. That's kind of what Audea is trying to do. But the second thing you said is also really interesting, which is that the media companies, they have billions of dollars of content they can create literally every day. So if what CNN is spamming YouTube with 50 videos a day because they can, then it's really hard for an upstart news network to like use YouTube as their main distributor because like CNN has TV and YouTube. And that's where I think you have a good point. That's where it's a question of if YouTube can start to recognize, then maybe we shouldn't push CNN's content in front of the creators that ultimately make up the platform, which are the individuals and not the big media companies. But then again, YouTube's going to lose money if they do that. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, it's tricky because the CNN example, right? They can afford to use YouTube as like a loss leader.
Yeah.
Basically, they don't need to use YouTube to make money. They just need to use YouTube to make sure nobody sees like The Hill Rising or the Upstart, whatever it is.
And The Hill Rising is good, man. The Hill Rising, Crystal and Sagar, I got into their stuff because they were on the Joe Rogan podcast, ironically, 5 months ago. And they got me hooked. Like they know how to analyze politics.